good morning on a Wednesday with Morning Coffee with Marcaida. Had to take a knee and listen to my own advice and take a few days off just because I was to reassess what was going on with the things I've done. And it's a way to be able to, I guess, reset and get things organized in my own head. If it's something that I've done, then I'll take ownership of it and basically fix it myself because it's something that I've done. If it's something that I haven't done, then it's something that I have to accept that things will evolve around me and happen around me, and there's really nothing I can do about that situation, but I can control the way I react to it. So having said that, good morning to everybody. Very good. Which brings me to an idea or questions I've always been asked by a lot of people who love what I do, and ask, how do I learn the art that you're teaching when no one around me teaches your style or your art? The answer to that is very simple. Get on the internet. I mean, it is the information highway of today. There is no reason anymore to say, well, I'm not really exposed to these things anymore. As a matter of fact, as a martial artist, we as students today have been exposed to more things than any of our teachers of the past have ever been exposed to. Imagine that. In the old days, people knew what they did or what the guy next door did, but they never really knew what the rest of the world did. So we have on their knowledge from martial arts. What happened when I was in my stage, I was studying with my teacher when I was much younger, and he had to leave after learning with him for my first year. And it was hard because I was so much into the art that I did. And after about a year of waiting on, I used to call him and go, I wish you could train again and do all this. And he goes, Doug, why don't you start teaching? And I'm like, what? Teach? I can't teach. This is something that's not definitely something that I'm doing. So instead, what I did was I started learning from a teacher in my base. We had an exchange program, so we had another martial artist come in from, he was an Indonesian Air Force, and I was having fun learning Silat through him. But finally, I think toward the last day of our training, because he had to go back to his country, I had a meeting with some friends, new friends that I had, and they were asking about martial arts. I took him with me, and he goes, so I heard you do Filipino martial arts. I actually do. And my student goes, well, what do you do with this? And I'm like, no, I don't have any weapons here. He goes, oh, okay, so it's limited to weaponry. But what if I threw a punch? And I go, oh, I would do this. Or I would do that. Or I'm doing this. So all of a sudden, all these things started flowing out of me. And it really surprised me. I was so excited that I had to call my teacher and go, my gosh, remember all those things that you didn't really want to show me, but you kind of talked about it? Well, they just started flowing. And that's when my teacher laughed and goes, Doug, that's because I taught you how to learn. Now I wanted you to teach so that when you're teaching, you are learning to learn again. Like, it was confusing, but you could just do it. Don't think about it, just do it. And my biggest worry about those days were the validity of the things that I'm able to do and teach. Well, there is no validity to that. The only validity that matters is myself. If I have a student who goes, well, what's your certificate or what's your level of training? I go, tell you what, instead of showing you that, this is what I can do. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, if you like that, that's what I can teach to you. I don't worry about certificates, belts, or anything else. Other people do because for some of them, it's a requirement for commerce, it's a requirement for standards of training, or it's a requirement for achieving a certain level. That's well and good. But don't ever let that be the gauge to stop you from learning on your own. Because if you really go back through time, all the way back, there was a person who was sitting down watching the grass grow and watching the animals fight and goes, I'm going to learn to fight that way. Or there was one guy who goes, you know what, I'm just going to make something up to defend myself. It had to start somewhere. And it was the doers who became the makers because they said, I'm going to test it. You see, later on, whether it's good or not, just because you learn something and create something doesn't necessarily mean it's very valid. But at the same time, it's up to you to make it valid. How? There are people around you who can help you to make it valid. There are structures of education, structures of learning out there that can help you make things valid. Overall, take responsibility for what you're doing. Teach to learn, learn to teach. It's a simple thing that knowledge is so beautiful that you can get out there, but never let it stop you from wanting to learn things and give back by teaching things. Doug Marcaida here. Good to be back again. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.